Can you see this box here? It says Sapphire Nitro Plus. Now this is the next version above what I had before, but even though it was an RX 580 and this is a RX 570, this got 4 gig and the other thing was a bit more of a beast mode, but this one's more of a higher clock speed. So we're going to be connecting this and putting it into that rig behind me, and then we're going to overclock it, but we're going to do some bass and synthetic bench testing and obviously some real world results and see what we get from it, and then we're going to overclock it. Or should I just overclock it straight away? No, I've got to show you from stock obviously and show you what I'm doing. We're going to play probably Grand Theft Auto and some other games. I don't know what other games I've got on the computer, but yeah, we're going to see what it's like, show you some fraps like frame rates per second, CPU usage and memory like speed and stuff like that. Anyway, this has got black diamond chokes and everything like that, and it's meant to be quite decent. I know you probably can't get this anyway because everyone's probably bought all of these for mining for the cryptocurrency and stuff, but yeah, this one was sent to me, so I'm just gonna completely blow it up. I'm not really, I'm just joking. I'm just gonna actually just use it and play around with it. Look at this. This is an absolute beast of a card. I actually didn't really realise this was so heavy. It's quite heavy. Look at the heat pipes. Like, I could do weightlifting with them. You can see my arms are actually pumping some muscle. Anyway, it says Sapphire there. It doesn't glow up with RGB, I don't think. It doesn't look like it, but if it does, at least I said I don't know. Okay, that's good. Anyway, on the back here, this bit is meant to be blown with air and that to keep it nice and cool. And the little chipset's got a lovely back plate which says Sapphire Nitro, and it's not for everyone, but it looks quite decent, I think. It's got a BIOS switch, so you can switch from different BIOSes. I guess if you don't want to overclock it and then stick with that, no, actually the driver update, or the BIOS update I should say, and you didn't like it, you want to go back to the other one because it's got better overclocking duties, then go with that one. On the back we have a display port, 2 display ports actually, and 2 HDMI ports and a DVI out as well. And then we've got a lovely heat dissipation we're meant to have from there. And these fans as well, you can unscrew them and then put in some blue ones if you want, or whatever colours they do. They seem alright. I'll test how loud it is in the video as well. Obviously heat pipes as well to dissipate heat. These are quite beastly. This is like what you see on American Muscle, I think. Anyway, you've got 6-pin and a 8-pin PCI connector. I couldn't even remember what it was called then. So give it voltage to the graphics card, which is alright. And on the side you've got a massive heat fin as well. And this is quite good quality. It doesn't feel like it will bend really easy or anything like that. And then the aesthetics of it looks really nice. I actually prefer this more than the other graphics card that we reviewed from Sapphire. But yeah, this looks pretty robust. I can see the black diamond chokes in there. I can't really have to take the whole shroud off and then have a look. But yeah, I want to put this in a machine and get it like going and seeing what little overclocks we can get with it. You get a peripheral stuff of software with it as well to do stuff, and yeah, it's pretty good. Well, I like it. Oh yeah, inside the box as well you'll get a Sapphire graphics card, quick installation guide, and just like basically put it in, take a screw out and put it in and put the screw back, simple, into the PCI slot, 16 bus, it's actually better than 8 bus. Then you got Sapphire driver disc. If you, I guess like if you're using a computer, you ain't got no internet, you could use that if you've got a CD, DVD or Blu-ray drive, but other than that I would normally go straight to the manufacturer's website and download the newest optimized drivers that you can find. But this is heavy, it really is a bit of a beast. This is like, it's definitely bigger than the GTX 970, so just, yeah, if you're going to be putting this in a mini ATX case, then yeah, definitely, yeah, that's all I've got to say is, I just wanted to see what it's like, so let's go! So we've got the newest Crimson update for the AMD graphics card, which is the 570, and in the case it's also got a blue LED lit name, which I didn't know that it was. Obviously got LED, but it does. But anyway, so first off we're going to be using the Benchmark Valley, which is Unigine Valley as you know it, and resolution is 1920 by 1080. We've got anti-aliasing off, we've got monitor single, display for 3D, stereos off, ultra quality and APIs DirectX 11, not DirectX 12. We'll be using other benchmarking software, and we're going to be running some games as well, some game benchmarks with the frame rates per second in the corner and stuff like that. So I'm just run this right now, and basically with the frame rates per second, as you can see, it's going to have like the CPU usage, and it's going to have, let's start this benchmark, and it's going to have the RAM, how much RAM we're using from the graphics card, and what we're using in the system. We've got 16 gigabytes of DDR4 running clocked at 266 megahertz, and then power consumption, and then obviously memory clocks from the actual graphics card, and see if we bottlenecking. We're using the 1600X clocked at 3.6 gigahertz I should say. And when we're going to check between minimum, medium and maximum frame rates, this is stock level at the moment. At the moment it seems like it was 111 frame rates per second and then dropped down to 86 or 87. But anyway, let's find out what the end results at the end is. So Unigine Valley benchmark 1.0, frame rates per second 85.4, score 3,574, minimum frame rates per second 33.1, maximum frame rates per second 142.9. And what's good about it is I updated the driver and it's more of an improvement, and also the score. So ladies and gentlemen, always update your drivers. Right, so as you can see, we've got time spy we're going to use DirectX 12, which is obviously the new architecture and software platform, the newest stuff rather than DirectX 11. But if you've got DirectX 11, just use that as well. It's all good. And as you can see, my graphics card is clocked at 1340 megahertz. And yeah, we're going to just see what it's like on stock and see where we're going to get on with it. Right, as you can see, we've got a score of 4,196 on Time Spy, and obviously it's quite a brutal benchmarking software. And graphic test 1 was 26.99 frames per second, graphic test 2, 22.20 frames per second, and the graphic score there was 3,994, and we got some ups and downs. The frame rates per second, CPU temperature, CPU frequency was okay. Have we got any more details? Yes, we do. We got some nice little peaks there, up and down, but it's quite consistent, so I'm quite proud of that. Then we've got a CPU score of 5,893 and a CPU test of 19.8 frames per second. So that's pretty good, like little score. Quite impressed. Right, I'm gonna do one which will be Fire Strike, so for high performance gaming PC, as it's a gaming graphics card. But this one's for multi GPU systems, and we haven't got 2 graphics cards, we've only got 1. So let's go. So as you can see, we've got 11,298 from Fire Strike, which is a damn good score. We've got graphic test 1, 60.94 frames per second, and graphic test 2, 52.54 frames per second, and then the graphic score overall 12,977, physical score 16,865, physical test 53.54 frame rates per second, and a combined score of 4,583, and a combined test 21.32 frame rates per second. So that is pretty awesome score. Anyway, let's move on. So we're going to use AIDA64, and we're going to stress test this graphics card on stock as well, and we're going to see how we get on. No, And we're going to see how we get on and then see what happens. So let's go to benchmark and let's go to GPU benchmark. Start benchmarks. Right, the GPU seems to have done really well with memory read and writes and everything like that. Sounds a bit like we're doing an SSD benchmark, but as you can see, well, I'll leave it on the screen for you to see, and then you can make your own decision. And if you know about this sort of thing, IOPS and read and writes on here and single position, Julia, yeah, then you should be quite happy, because I think this is quite good, definitely. So last one's going to be superposition. And I'm going to be running this in DirectX. I think it's DirectX API, and 1920 by 1080 in extreme mode. That means it's going to be absolutely whooping the graphics card as much as possible. And yeah, let's go with that, and then we'll do Cinebench afterwards. Right, so we've got a score of 2,370, and then we've got frame rates per second, minimum 14.3, average of 17.73, maximum 20.43. And that is on extreme. So now we're going to go back, and then we're going to do CL, open CL, and run it again. Then we're going to use Cinebench and see that as well, and see what kind of benchmark we get from that. So we got a score of 1,978 and minimum of 11.92 and average 14.8 and maximum 17.12. GPU minimum 33 degrees, maximum 68 degrees, which is pretty decent. GPU utilization max 100%. Now what I'm going to do is overclock, so obviously that might change quite dramatically the temperature, but we won't know until we go in there and do that. But next is obviously Cinema 4D. Right, so now we're going to run Cinebench, and basically I've just done one already, 6 core, 1,201 score there, just under its predecessor from there. Oh, that was overclocked as well. This graphics card's not overclocked, so they're just doing the CPU at the moment, see if there's any bottlenecking. And we're just watching this frame render and render and render. Will soon be there, and it has been completed. It's actually it's gone up by 2, so that's not too bad. Anyway, let's run the graphic version now, and here we go. So what have we got here? Temperatures are still pretty good at the moment. 48 to 47 degrees. Car skidding. Ooh! So what have we got? Is that 104.94 frames per second? That is not bad at all. And as you can see, it's still not overclocked, so that's pretty good. It's just under the GTX 970. That is awesome. Right, so I have my assistant, and he's playing Grand Theft Auto for me because I'm just too good at this game. I'm not really, but anyway, he's averaging using the CPU usage, so there's no bottleneck in there. But you're looking at 100 and something frame rates per second. I just see it pop up to 104, and then around 86 frame rates per second. Memory clock speed at 1750 megahertz out of 3,450 megabytes. Someone cannot drive for anything. GPU wattage is at 140 watts near enough. Right, now we've got Team Radar. So this is using like 111 watts 60 degrees at the moment on the graphics card, 20%, 1340 megahertz of the memory. Memory is actually 1750 megahertz, actually out 2178 megabytes. 3D directional 12, so on 60 frame rates per second. Looks just like it's capped. CPU is averaging all over the place over 8 cores, I think that is. 6 cores, 12 cores. No, actually 6 cores, 12 threads. RAM is at 6491 megabytes. At the moment, we've got 123 watts, 57 degrees, 100%, 25%, 1340 megahertz. Memory is 1750 megahertz at 3027 megabytes. Using 3D Direct 11, 60 frame rates per second. We've got 6 core, 12 threads, all averaging at the moment. What else we got? We've got RAM at 8347 megabytes. And it looks pretty good. Can't really see much because it's dark, but I'm not really playing it. If I was playing it, I would be able to see what I'm doing. I'm only joking. It looks pretty good. I can't see any tearing or anything like that. And yeah, it looks really quite cool. So now we've got a GPU, even less than 130 watts. And 55 degrees on the graphics card, 100%, 26%, 1340 megahertz. And then memory is at 1750 megahertz. 2607 megabytes, DirectX 11, 60 frame rates per second. CPU's averaging more, definitely more of an average than obviously Tomb Raider and stuff like that, which I don't really get because that's more in CPU and graphic intense like game. And we've got RAM at 8341 megabytes. And this game looks really nice and clean. And I recommend it. Buy it. As you can see, the RX 570 is really quite decent graphics card, especially at stock levels. The next video is going to be the overclocked version. This video would have been really too long, so I've left it and cut it kind of short. So stay tuned if you want to see part 2. Leave your comments down below. Obviously down below is where you can buy the graphics card as well from this video. And yeah, it's quite a nice looking graphics card. I think it's quite awesome. I'll leave some B-roll shots to end this video, and obviously subscribe, share, like, and everything like that. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next one. I'm out.